All right, I'm going to say shalom to everyone. Thank the Most High for another day. Having said that, based on a dream that I had, I don't know how many more days we have left, but I have an idea. This is a very disturbing video. Everything is not always going to be peaches and cream or, something that you would like to hear. Let's just hope that I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm in the frame or not. All right, let's just hope that I'm wrong. Let me just get into it because I know I don't have that much time on this thing. A few days ago, I was, of course I was asleep, and I seen, well, first of all, I was in this, like a warehouse type store where you will buy goods, and it was almost like a Sam's Club or like a place of that nature. And the funny thing about this, every time that I go in to explain it, or if I share this with someone, the dream, I am able to explain exactly what I seen. Like when I first had, I couldn't understand what was going on, but now, maybe a week later, I'm able to go into this information, and explain or describe what I seen. So basically, I was into this. It was a warehouse, but this particular warehouse was, you could see all the, it was like full of windows. And I know that signifies something too. But it had for some reason I knew that this place had a stairwell or a basement where you can go down for safe haven, just in case something happens like that. But based on this particular storm, there were four twisters, four tornadoes. But they were kind of like far out. But the way I seen them develop, they were just like develop, as I was like concentrating on them, I would see another one develop. And in the midst of the tornadoes, and I have a diagram on kind of like how I seen it, there was a bigger system that looked like it was about to, like in the midst of all these four tornadoes, there was a real big funnel that would have just swept up everything. So as I'm looking at this in the dream, I looked and turned back. I had a real close person with me at the time, and I looked back and this person wasn't there. This individual wasn't there. So I'm like, so where did this person go? And I knew, since I guess it's my dream, I knew that this individual went to their car. So as I was approaching to go out to the car, or opening one of the doors, I just woke up, and I was wondering why wasn't I able to finish it? But it was already finished. Based on what I seen, these four tornadoes are actually woes that's written in inscription. I'm going to get into it. All right, now I am no soothsayer. This information for real is, because it says in Acts that we will see visions and we will have dreams and things of that nature in the last days. A lot of times I don't feel worthy of the Most High's sight in some things that is revealed to me, and I know other brothers and sisters go through this too. But I have to put it out there, even if I don't make it myself. I have to put it out there to the public, so you all can be warned. And like I said, that's just hope that I'm wrong, what I'm about to get into. Now, this is how the diagram looked, and I don't know if it's in the frame or not, but I drew 4 tornadoes. And as you see, I may have to just, give me a minute here. I'm going to do it this way. And so as you see the diagram, right, let me just kind of go out. This is the, I kind of like did a 3D figure here. So it's like I'm entering into this warehouse. These are the glass doors or windows. It's just like you was able to see the whole thing happening. And you see the 4 tornadoes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm not so much worried about these 2 here because they're far away. I could have probably drew it a little better, but it was like it was circling the building as it was forming. And actually I should have put this 4th one up in this area because I was able to see it through this window. So this 4th one should be here. Actually, it wasn't this close together. This 3rd one was like maybe about right here. This is the one I'm worried about, the first one. Okay, so there are going to be 4 woes that's written in scripture, and I'm going to read it in a few minutes. This one was boggling my mind because it was very close, and there was a door here that I could have drew. Or whatever. That I could have probably drew here. So I was able to go out, but by the time I opened this door, it was too late. Or it was just different times, different time zone. But basically, this twister here is representation of punishment that's going to come about in a few days. I don't know when, because if you look at the year that we're in, okay, we're in 2016, right? And you got 4 tornadoes, right? Plus 4, you got 2020. So you have 2020 here. The problem with that is some people don't know that this 2020, in actuality, when you do the math under the Enoch calendar, it closely correlates with 2012, the true 2012, because the Gregorian calendar is about 7 years off. Okay? So, these tornadoes are telling me that we got about 4 years left, based on what I felt after I woke up. I felt very heavy. And I felt this before a long time ago, and there were some issues that happened to some family members. But that's a long story. I won't get into that. But based on this tornado here is the one we're going to have to worry about. The tornadoes represent disaster. Tornadoes represent war, hunger, thirst, wrath, punishment. That's what twisters represent in my dreams. This here is, I believe, after these pass, the wrath is totally going to eradicate and destroy this earth. Whatever this was, this system that I seen in my dream, it was almost like a big wormhole of some sort. And people was like, well, that's you watching too much TV. No. Because people that made this stuff up seen these visions as well, and they just perverted the information. So that's not even goated. But based on this, see, this is closer. This particular tornado is closer, which represent pretty much we're almost out of this year. 2016 is pretty much done. We're going into October already. All right? And as you notice, the years are going back much faster because the Most High had to shorten the times. So we are approaching this second year, and it's going to be a woe. All right? And then after that, you got about 2 more years left. So I wanted to show that. So now let me just read the scripture. on, and I tell you the truth, I don't even remember reading this. Even it's in Luke, and I've read throughout the Bible for years, but I'm sure it's certain passages that I probably overlooked, or not overlooked on purpose, or just probably read it a long time ago, and I just do not remember for some reason reading these in Luke, and it stuck out. Okay, the reason, the way I found it is because I wanted to say, okay, so what is this for? Why am I seeing 4 tornadoes? And then I just typed in for a search the 4 woes, like it just came to me right there. And then I went to Luke chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at the 20th verse. Okay, Luke chapter 6 verse 20, and it says, "And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples." So it's talking about Christ lifting up his eyes on his disciples, and said, "Blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven." So us that, and I'm gonna say us because I don't know how much longer I'll be working, but that's another story. A lot of us are poor. For yours is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 21, "Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company." You see, when you understand when you want to live a certain way, there's a certain type of separation that happens. "And shall reproach you and cast out your name and as evil for the Son of Man's sake," which means they're going to defame you based on how you live your life according to the scriptures, based on Christ's footsteps. Verse 23, "Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your rewards is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets." But look at verse 24. This is woe 1, verse 24. "But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation." So that's your reward, your riches. That's how far you're going to get. Second woe, "Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger." Third woe, "Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep." Fourth woe, "Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets." So basically what this is saying is, and I'm going to go here again in scripture, like I did in another video, all right? Let's go to Revelation 17 so you can understand what these woes are, all right? Revelations 18, verse 1. "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and of cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through abundance of her delicacies." So they got rich based on Babylonian living, their customs, their way of life. So when it talks about riches in Luke chapter 6, we got to understand that it's talking about a specific place that's going to have destruction come here. It's going to be a certain destruction that's going to happen to this place. Now, of course, everybody says it's going to happen everywhere, but this is going to be the hallmark area in which all nations have drunken the wrath of her fornication. So when Babylon, America falls, which based on what scripture says, because I'm no terrorist, okay? Because you got to watch people thinking you say something like that, they label you as a domestic terrorist or whatever. But based on that, when you read these scriptures in regards to what's going to happen to Babylon, it's going to rain fire, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's going to be called, that land is Sodom and Egypt. So I just wanted to get into that. I don't want to get into a long Bible study on it, but I just wanted to share the dream based on these for particular tornadoes. These tornadoes represents wrath, pain, suffering, mourning. That's what it represents. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of us know that, and these are signs for the Most High is warning me to get the hell up out of here. Okay, I've been here too. I already know what's gonna happen. A lot of people are laughing, and like it says in scripture, yeah, you laugh now. You got your riches now. You get your cars now. You get all your glory and all that now. But it's about to come to an end. All your riches will be nothing. Your treasure is in heaven. That's what it's talking about. So I just wanted to get into that. Verse 6. Revelations 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. So that's actually what it's talking about. So there's no what you would call coincidence or made up story. I've never seen a movie with 4 tornadoes. Okay, so this is not something I've seen on some TV. The Most High sends certain visions and dreams to people, even if they like it or not, because some of us have a duty to do in a calling. You know, regardless of a job or how much money you got. The Most High dealt with Moses. He had a stuttering problem. He told him to do this and do that. So the Most High always uses those of us that don't have as much. Because when you're at your lowest state sometimes in the flesh, and you're not committing a bunch of sins and trying to hurt people, the Most High will reveal certain things to you. Because if you got everything, if you got a bunch of riches and you got a bunch of, money or whatever, and clothes and shoes and all this stuff, you too caught up into the world. So that's what we got to understand. So I just wanted to get into that. To be honest, and I made a video on this. Okay, I got a few more minutes here. I made a video on this. I do not know how much time we have left. When I say I made a video on this a while back, 2020. See, that's why they call having 2020 vision as clear. You got clear vision now in 2020, but it's actually what you would call a spiritual understanding, metaphorical, based on 2020. They know certain things are going to happen. Matter of fact, I'll do it later, but if you look up, I believe, the Hebrew number 2020, I may post it at the bottom of the description box and what it means. I think it's in the Hebrew or the Greek. So, get yourselves together. All of us need to get ourselves together, because it's about to get. We see what's going on in the news. It's riots almost every day. It's some black person, quote unquote, as they got their false flags set up. A black person getting shot by some white cop every other day now. So we understand the direction in which they're trying to push America. Race wars. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to have the 60s on steroids. So you see that's what they're doing. All right. And to be honest, I don't believe there's going to be an election. There's a lot of people that don't believe it's just too much going on. Eventually, the president can stay in office for 10 years. Okay, so he kind of figured that that's what he was going to do anyway. So, like I said, I can be speculating, it may sound like a conspiracy, but you got to look at stuff like that. So there you have it. I'm not going to get long-winded. Thank you all for, joining and tuning in and subscribing. Thank you all for the comments. So there you all have it. I'll see you all with other videos. Shalom.